official. The 9th of December 2018. This is Ndito Akwa Ibom radio program broadcasting live from FM Rains FM 106.8. So I always forget. I'm in trouble with the manager again today. So this program is broadcast live on the radio station, excuse me, and it's also broadcast live YouTube, Facebook. Please, if you are joining us from the Facebook, please do share the program so that people will join and then listen to this program as well. And remember to visit our YouTube. It's live as well now. So that for those of you who are not um, you are not on Facebook, or you live outside UK and you cannot tune into your frequency to listen to this program, you can go on YouTube, please. Then you can watch us live. Thank you so much for joining us again. My name is Edna. Then produce this program. Today we have a guest joining us all the way from America. Is our son. I believe he was born in Akwa Ibom. We will ask him later. And then he's here to talk to us about the issues in Akwa Ibom State. Because sometimes a lot of people have different views, or people may not understand what is going on, but you need people to enlighten you, to tell us what is going on, or there's something is going wrong, or something we don't really have an answer to. We need people to come and talk so that we can ask them questions, as it's always be on the program. You ask them question, why do you believe this, or why should we believe this, or why should we do this, or why should we not do this? So that's what this program is all about. So we are here again today, and I want to say thank you again for joining us. And now I want to welcome our guests on the program. Hope Umana Esquare. And I want to say thank you, sir, for joining us on the program today.
Well, thank you very much, Edna.
Okay, so I'm really, for me, me the okay, I photo Akwa Ibom. Like I said, this program will be mixed English and Ikoidongian, but English will be more because of the structure here in the studio. So Mbakarango, they want to listen. What they want to listen to what we are saying. So there's a lot of people listen to us right now on the radio station, which is fantastic, and they want to know what is going on. In fact, I believe some of them have been following us as well. So, do you want to tell other people listening to you now a little bit about yourself?
Um, my name is Hope Umana. I'm an Akwa Ibom man. I live in the United States in Washington, D.C. area. I'm an attorney in Washington, D.C. I'm a barrister and solicitor of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. And I'm from Itu local government. And I'm very keen about what some of the things that are happening now in Akwa Ibom, and I have been for all my lifetime. That's in a nutshell who I am.
Oh, okay. So, we will not know who you are. We know that you are uh, awonyin. So in case any of us, if you can say me come back at me, maybe table same siriri or na ibo same asire. Thank you. Thank you once again, sir, for coming on the program. Now, sir, I want to ask you. I want to start by asking you. There's what is your view? Because there's so much problem now in Akwa Ibom State. Recently, Mframa Peke House of Assembly, they declared some seats vacant. It could close down, or another peace speaker came in, or another one is not coming in. Police, the state government say can any like they don't get support from the Nigerian police. So I believe that you know about this, or if you don't know, or maybe you must have heard about it. What is the view about this? Well, let's start with that.
Um, I think what Akwa Ibom people ought to be concerned about now is about the elections that are oncoming. All those are posturing, and we need some maturity in there to help people understand what the law is and why the law ought to be what rules us at this time. Some measure of lawlessness has happened. We continue to ask all the players to manage themselves well, obey court orders, obey court rules, and don't act in a way that um, will violate the peace that the state should enjoy at this time, especially in this festive period. It's very disconcerting to see some of the things that are happening. All we call on all sides to show restraint, show maturity, show leadership, and that's sorely lacking at this point, uh, unfortunately.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Now, I want to ask you, you talk about election, which is what is going on now. We have a present governor who wants to go back to the second term. We have Abonsi Maikere, who was the deputy governor during Akpabio, Akepa Agukara. Maybe I think he was resigned, or he was resigned, or he was dismissed. I'm not really sure about that. And then he wants to come back to the same governor. He's coming back, or he wants to contest for the seat of the governor of the Akwa Ibom State. Now, why is he coming back?
I'm not sure I can hear you, but I see gesticulation, so I think network has.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I'm back on now. I can hear you now,
Oh, you were
if you
off
can hear me.
network.
Okay.
I was asking, my question was, we have His Excellency, who is the current governor of Akwa Ibom State, about His Excellency Iman Udom, Emmanuel Udom, or Udom Emmanuel, sorry, what a shame. And then we have another His Excellency again, Obong Sima Ikere. He was the deputy governor of Akwa Ibom State, Akpabio, in Akpabio, Kebara. Now he wants to come back and contest for the seat of governorship. Why is he coming back? Because some people say that when he was in NDDC as a managing director, he did not do nothing to the Kwahun people. He did no development at all, and he wants to come back. Why? Why?
I think it's important to correct some of the expressions made. Obong Simakar is currently still the managing director of NDDC, and his performance in NDDC has been stellar. It's been over and above what we have seen in the past. And frankly, we've had um, other managing directors before him. His record is excellent, superlative. When you compare that kind of leadership and record performance, which has been accepted and applauded all over the many states that encompass the NNDC catchment area and zone, you will understand what this man can bring to the table for Akwa Ibom people as a governor. I think Ete Ma and Ayena Kwebom are not really interested in what has happened in the past. Yes, you don't want to forget your history because you forget your history, you're bound to repeat them. Um, but as deputy governor of Akwa Ibom State, when he was there for the short time that he was there under the leadership of Obon Godswill Akpabio, CON, he performed extremely well. It, Years ago, if I harken back to when Obama Akpabio was going in for his re-election, you must let the facts be clear that when Obama Akere was deputy governor, it was in the second iteration of the Akpabio administration. That's when he came in as deputy governor, and he wasn't there for all the 4 years. He had to resign, and that's politicking. You know, those things happen. Some things happen sometimes. He performed well. He was a loyal deputy. He was a loyal aide to the governor, and he's also performed within the state as the head of Akipok. He managed the business. He's always been about business. He's always been about the business of governance. When you compare that and contrast with the leadership that is lacking right now in Akwa Ibom, the truncated development, the decaying infrastructure, both at all levels, human capital is lacking right now in Akwa Ibom. Improvement in that, the infrastructural strides which Akwa Ibom made, we don't see any more of that kind of thing. We see, some primordial, even the roads that I understand this administration. I mean, there's a whole charrette that's been going on in the past 3.5 years of Udom administration. Things are happening under our eyes. Right now, we hear about the massive explosion with corruption involving EFCC coming into the state, looking at the accounts in the past year. Monies have been recycled or I don't know where some of this money is that we should be using to develop Akwa Ibom State. That's probably caught up with the unfortunately the president of the NBA right now and the attorney general. We know that Udom has failed, and it would be a travesty to extend the stay in the hilltop mansion.
But you say you know that Udoma as well. But this is the man. People of Akwa Ibom say that he brought a lot of about 10 industries into Akwa Ibom State. Had great care, employment on it Akwa Ibom.
Which industries are this? I was once
At least I
confronted
happen
with
to
a
heard about the Shireen company or factory.
which one is that?
Shireen, Shireen's
Syringe?
company, yeah, company.
Have have you
In
received any
Nitra,
injection with any of those syringes?
I'm
Has
not in
any
Akwa Ibom.
Akwa Ibom man, woman, and child received injection with any of those syringes? I haven't seen any of them. Where are the photographs of this thing? Where are the work? Where can we see this thing? The last time I was in Akwa Ibom people have toothache. And what is the governor's prescription for that cure? He is giving us toothpick. That is wrong. What toothpick, and even these toothpick are not manufactured in Akwa Ibom, they're imported from China and rebranded. If you can play smoke and mirrors with Akwa Ibom people. That's wrong. If we want to have factories, let's have real factories. Factories that cater to the needs of Akwa Ibom, factories that make money for Akwa Ibom, factories in this era, in this age and time, we haven't seen anything but broadcasts in the newspapers, broadcasting programs, maybe like this or other programs. But the truth remains the truth. And we can't controvert the truth. Where are these factories? And how do these factories factor into the developmental plans of Akwa Ibom State for the 3 years that he's been and into the future? And what we're going to see when you compare what he has done with the money that comes into the state, Akwa Ibom State, produces most of the oil in Nigeria, at least more than any other state. So the dividends of these things come back to Akwa Ibom more than every other state. But what do we have? Akwa Ibom State today is almost the last in every indices of development, every developmental index. We cannot allow this to continue. We cannot allow this fraud to continue.
Okay. Uh, I think people would have started calling already. Anyway, um, the phone line is on the screen. So if you wanna call and then ask Mr. Hope Humana question, you are free. The number is there on the screen now. We just missed one call, and then I don't know who was that. You can call back and then put your call across. And then somebody just said something, and let me just it because it's for this one to say Akpabio and Udom is the problem of the Akwa Ibom state, and yeah, you said Udom because but there I listened to what Akpabio made a statement one time that he completed, he commissioned airport, he commissioned a flyover, and the stadium and the rest and all that. But don't you think that it is too short for Udo Emmanuel to do more for what that mean to satisfy like the normal people of Akwa Ibom State for this short 3 years period and Parami office? Don't you think maybe they can give him if maybe if they give him an opportunity to serve the second term, he'll be able to do more? You don't have trust in him? You think he cannot deliver?
Well, the ship of state of Akwa Ibom, that's massive foolery, honestly. The ship of Akwa Ibom state is not moving in the right direction now. 3.5 years is enough to show where you're going, what direction you're going. It's about, look, it's about sloganeering. It's about sloganeering with Udom's administration. I hear and I see that thing called Dakada. Look, Akwa Ibom people are sick of being told Dakada, Dakada. That's small thinking. Dakada, Dakada. When you Dakada all the time, so Akwa Ibom people are sick and tired of Dakada, Dakada, Dakada. What needs to happen is Udom to Dakada Anyong, Anyong Voma, where he came from. Because we want to be at the table. We want to sit down at the table and share the thing. We are tired of being on the menu. And that's what's been happening with the Doms administration. Look, 3.5 years when Fabio came in, we saw signs, we saw movement, we knew where he was headed, and there was a clear vision of where he was headed. Today, Akwa Ibom State has gone backward instead of forward. And that's not the kind of, when we throw out, oh, give him time, give him time, give him time to do what? Give another 8 years. 8 years is far too long. 4 years from now, that is far too long for Akwa Ibom to retrograde the way it's retrograding. And that's why when you see the way Obong Semakere is moving, you know this is a man will come in with a plan. And let me just remind you, Sister Edna, even before Obong Semakere, when he first contested, showed interest in being the chief executive of Akwa Ibom State, his economic plan was the best in those times. He has improved on that. And you want to see that kind of stellar, that's top shelf action, which this man will bring to the state. We cannot wait any longer. So I have one message, very short message for the people of Akwa Ibom. Just hang in there, hold on. In a few months, help is on the way.
And you are so certain about the help is on the way. Then I mean, you speak with passion about the present. I just want to finish this the issue of the present government. Then if I go to your own candidate, which is Obong Semakere, whom I believe you support, and this present governor was brought in according to what they said. He said, Senator Pabio, that he was the one that brought Udom in. So now, I've listened to so many videos. I mean, ayetang abuntum kimo ke Udom ma do go ke basike no Udom di kade all those. There's so many things, and then this is some person that is saying that no, this man is not good. This man was not good. He just wanted to help him. He did not understand why the man is doing this, why he's doing that. I mean, and then he's coming back to the side, gang side, Obong Semakere. And this is the same person, Anyeke for straight K, and yeah, resigned from being deputy governor of Akwa Ibom State. So now he's going to that side. So are you telling me that he believes on Sima now than before?
I don't want to speak at length about Obama Kwabia, and you can ask Obama Kwabia that question. I think he's very competent and very eloquent to answer for himself about that. But if I may just speak just so slightly, Obama Kwabia is human like the rest of us. He's not perfect. Only the Christ is perfect. He's made a mistake before. And he came in many interviews. I've listened to him. I've heard him speak. I've heard him say that very clearly. And you can correct me if you've heard differently. The man has apologized to Akwa Ibom people for imposing this, for want of what, this placeholder of a governor, on all of us. And he has said he's sorry because he regrets that the man has not performed the way he wanted, he thought he could. For me, I've forgiven him. He's made his mistake. I know people who've made mistakes in the past and forgiven. But we do, as the Akwa Ibom people, collectively, one and all, have the opportunity to correct the mistake and follow his tangent on this point. Even before he came out to say that, which he said over and over again ad nauseum, we knew that Udom Emmanuel's administration is a placeholder administration. It wasn't designed with a vision for Akwa Ibom. It wasn't designed to work. It cannot work, and it has not worked, and it will not work after February of next year.
You speak with passion, as if, okay, we will come back to that. But let me ask you another question. The Abang Semaikere, who you think or you believe you support, is the savior, is a helper, is coming to help the people of Akwa Ibom State. But I remember one time, or I believe you they gave him an award. An award. As an ikang, as an ikwa. It will keep me worse or whatever. What do you want? What can you say about that? What's the meaning? What was the meaning of it? The award? Because like me, if somebody come and give me that kind of award, it has a meaning.
I'm not sure what award you're talking about now, but if you want to govern a state,
what I'm talking about is that Obon Semaikere was presented with an award containing the symbol of knife and guns. And then
by whom?
They were giving him that award, and then somebody said they gave him the award so that anybody that want to stand the governor is to use it and clear the way. We all know what knives and guns does. We all know. So he received the award, and he raised it up because I saw it. I watched the video. So now this somebody you say you were supporting, and then he's coming into Akwa Ibom with the knife and the guns as a received as an award. So I mean, I don't know. That's why I don't understand. I don't know the meaning. That's why I'm asking you. Maybe you can explain it to us.
I don't think I can speak to an issue that I really have no personal knowledge, or at least have done some reading up on. I don't know who gave Obon Semaikere an award and what that symbolism is. And that question probably can be better directed to that group and what the symbolism of that, if there's any symbolism to it. But when I don't think we should go down to the baseline of making, reading things into every action that happens at every level, at every stage. For example, we know that there's a title in Akwa Ibom called the Tuekong. People are called the Tuekong. Tuekong this, the Tuekong that. I don't think when we give those children those names or those titles, we expect them to go out into war or to go and fight war. It's just an indication that you're being armed in a way, you're being blessed in a way to lead the charge on behalf of the people. And when the road is tough, you need tough guys. And when I tell you, Obon Semaikere is a man with spine. His spine is made of steel. Unlike the chicken, where I saw, I think his name is Deacon Udom, I speak the other time after and I was completely flabbergasted. I was stunned that he seems somewhat lily-livered and challenged by the situation, the very little crisis that happened in the House of Assembly. He could speak with boldness. He could not address the issue with the level of strength that we want to exude from the Chief Executive Office of Akwa Ibom. If you listen to Obon Semakere, you'll be satisfied. And a lot of times I'm satisfied that the man is the man made of steel. His backbone is clear, his vision is clear, his backbone is strong, his vision is clear. And I speak with passion because this is a man I've seen and followed over the years, and I've seen him perform at all levels. I've seen him walk even before he came into this position, and I know his heart is in the right place. I don't know the history of Udom. I don't know where he came in from. I understand he came in from a bank. I don't know his community service record, and he has not. Udom needs to campaign on this record. There's no record to campaign. That's why you see people trying to build things out, molehill out of little things. Oh, he was given an award. So that means what? It means nothing more than that. We're going to have a great governor. We're going to have a governor who sits with the president and talks good stuff and bring good stuff back to Pueblo. We're going to have a governor who can, when push comes to shove, will push back on all fronts, all in the best interest of Akwa Ibom man, woman, and child.
Oh, I think this person is calling us from Facebook. Let me hear. I just hope you're not. Hello. 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 Well, we can't hear you from here, so I don't know. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, we couldn't hear you. Okay, that's fine. You call in. Welcome to the Talk One Radio program. Do you want to ask a question or you want to support what um, Mr. Hope Umana is saying?
Hello?
I, I think he's having network problem. Hello. Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Really bad.
Yeah.
It was really bad. Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I don't know if it will subsist. Hello?
Okay, just go ahead and talk.
Oh, okay. Um, I am calling from you. I want to know the guest there. Where is he speaking from? Is he speaking from Nigeria or is he speaking from somewhere abroad?
Yeah, he's speaking from America. Wow, the network is really bad. You have to put it off now, then you come back. You can call back later. Okay. Sorry about that. That was a call. We're trying to put the person across. The phone line is open, so if you want to call in, you can call in and ask a question, or you want to contribute, fine. So the phone line is now open. Okay. Sir, still on the Obonsimaikere issue. Do you want to now I ask you about the award they gave to him? You telling us maybe you don't have, you're not aware of it, whether they gave something like that. You cannot comment on it. Okay. And do you want to? Are you aware that he brought out or he read out or he promised or I mean whatever? Do you are you aware of the manifesto that he brought out recently?
And I'm very aware of the manifesto, which is grounded and straddles the 5 pillars of development of Akwa Ibom, something that is sorely lacking today in Akwa Ibom. And I'm so excited about what he's produced. When you read that, digest it, I think Akwa Ibom people should relax and see that this is a thinking person who comes with a vision. I'll just ask Akwa Ibom people, where's the vision of them? Where is the manifesto? What does he have to offer? Well, he's the sitting governor. He's incompetent. He needs to contest on his record. What's his record? His record is zero. Failure everywhere. People are failing schools. I understand that why we've dropped from a certain where we were a little bit higher. We've dropped. In terms of unemployment, we're second to the last. Akwa Ibom State, the we produce all the oil, almost all the oil and gas Nigeria consumes, or Nigeria exports and makes money. But where are we in unemployment? Second to the last. That means states that are royal, like in the northeast, or even Bayelsa, northeast of Nigeria, the Taraba states, the Adamawas, the Borno states have better employment than we have. Udom Emmanuel and the people in the administration ought to be ashamed of themselves.
Okay. Do you want to tell us? You say Abonsi Maikere has good plans for the people of Akwa Ibom State. Do you want to tell me about his plan towards education in Akwa Ibom State? Because they said that even the school he attended is even the roof is even off.
That's propaganda, my dear. You know the school. People are going, look, this is political season, so this is silly season. A lot of people are just going to make up facts, and they're just going to lie. They want to lie their way to retaining incumbency, but that's not true. That is certainly not true.
Okay, now
and
tell us,
if it did, hang on for a minute. Hang on for a minute. Let me just say that if his school is not doing well, this is probably a government school. This is a school in the state where the governor is Udom Emmanuel. Who should have the blame today? It is Udom Emmanuel, not somebody else who's working at this end. And if you recall, when this governor, when Obonsi Maikere first wanted to have a clear vision transfer and wanted to work with the state government to make things happen, to synergize the strength of NDC with the development stride of Akwa Ibom State. Because Akwa Ibom State did not have any plan. What was the story? The story was, no, don't come in here. Don't come in here. Very immature action. Don't come in here. So basically, this governor has been pushing away Obonsi Maikere instead of allowing this man to bring his vision, develop the state, and possibly develop that school. I can speak directly to any particular school, not knowing exactly what the politics and the dynamics of what should go into the development of that particular school. But I can speak to what Obonsi Maikere will do when he becomes the governor of Akwa Ibom State. And I tell you, we just need to hold on tight now. We are hungry now, but help is on the way. In terms of, let me answer your questions. If you read, I would just point you to the website. I don't want to paraphrase and overstate or understate the issue. This, Akwa Ibom people are reading people, very educated people. Just read that. And if you're not satisfied, ask questions straight up the campaign. He will develop the educational system. He will improve the schools. Teacher education is key. Small class sizes, feeding in school for the students, because a lot of students come to school without food. Feeding them at school and making sure teachers are well trained, lower class sizes, supervising the teachers and making sure that principals are properly empowered to take decisions that better and improve their schools and improve the overall education of the system. One of the things that he has put in place is he has announced, and the naysayers were up in arms, that he will increase bursary from the current 5,000 naira, which is not even paid, to 25,000. And I heard people, I read in the online portal the other day, somebody said, where's the money going to come from? My dear, there is money in the state. For example, in trillions, we have just been pointed out that recently we come to know that most of Akwa Ibom's money was laundered through a particular law firm, and it was kicked back to officials of the government. When I calculated it, I thought it was 1.1, more than 1.1 billion naira. If you spread that into the bursary system, that is enough already for 1 year of bursary. When you calculate it, it's not enough. He will check waste. He will check money laundering. And when we then grow the economy, in growing the economy, the IGR will improve. That's a carefully thought plan that will fund many of the programs that he has articulated in that plan.
Okay, you said I've heard you. Well, I haven't got time to read the manifesto to know what was there, but I think I got to hear about it yesterday, and then I didn't have more time to sit down and go through all of them, so to be able to ask you questions. But I know I picked some things out there, like you talk about education. It's gonna be giving university or students university money, bursary or whatever. Later, the question I want to ask you, which is what you have just answered. But well, one of the now, he likes school so much. He valued education so much. Then there was a time, because you said something that federal or state government did not allow him to come to the state and develop or do something for the state. There was a time that I think it was a video they sent to me that when he was NDDC was donated plastic table and chairs, from weight. So, and there are some roads about now you get commission, and there are some building neighborhood now it's like it was laying a foundation. So if you are telling us that the state government did not allow him to come to or to develop Akwa Ibom State, so what happened? How did he get to do all those things?
I think you misunderstood the point I made. When Obong Simakere first came in, when he was first inaugurated as the MD, he laid out a plan and approached the state government. The state government, for many, many months, did not allow synergy, did not allow cooperation. And it's all over, it's on new. I didn't originate that here. It's all over, it was all over the radio. And even I spoke with many members of this current administration. I have friends in this administration. So, and I spoke with some of them. You know, it was an immature way to approach things. They were scared to death that this development plan was there. So when they have actually finally, and many of these things are done I don't even think the state government is welcoming with open arms. NMDC has federal mandate. So there's no way the state government can completely stop the NMDC. So Obong Nsimakere has been able to use the power of the statutory scheme that he has to inroad even Akwa Ibom, despite and in spite of the blockages that the state government, barriers that the state government has erected every step of the way to make things happen. So this administration is running scared at every moment that the level of performance, and people are thanking Obong Simakere all the way over. You have just mentioned one, NNGC is doing things. I just want you, Edna, to remember, and if you remember, tell me, when have we been this lucky in Akwa Ibom State to see performance in NNDC that touches lives day in, day out on a daily basis? Performance that tells the people you have your man at the seat of NNDC Managing Director. Performance that says to Akwa Ibom that if you give this man, like my Megan said, Emma will not throw a come so that I don't know the next time. This is a man who has given the little throw. He has shown so much performance, and he has been doing this from now. He just didn't fly out from one Zenith bank or some crazy bank somewhere to say, oh, I can do things, and we don't know what. We have seen his track record. We love it. We have seen that this man means well for us. So he's basically, you talked about symbolism of the shield and God. They are building barricades for him. They're building barriers. He's breaking those barriers to perform because he understands that the people who are going to suffer are the people of Akwa Ibom. So he breaks down those state government self-made barriers and he's performing. What about that? That's the kind of man you want at Hilltop Mansion.
Well, I believe that some of them are listening because this and this, I know that it's gonna be like this today, and then that was why I was supposed to have another attorney on the program. So this one now, I'm gonna do you meant you remember because is for me is it's I don't know that I don't know. So
Well,
okay.
you know, if you don't have if they don't have something to tell Akwa Ibom people, and I know they don't, they'll be running scared. I tell you, folks, they don't want to tell Akwa Ibom people the truth, and then Akwa Ibom people are going to tune in and listen to the truth when I'm on this program. So if they know I'm going to come here, they're not going to like it. They don't like what this man is telling Akwa Ibom people. Shine your eyes, as they say. Akwa Ibom people need to shine their eyes because this has been a government of smoke and mirrors, government of kabu kabu, government of we will just see, say, and do anything. Before Akbar Semen, I think it was, who said, he said, you know, a Tukism. You know, they throw things out. The other time when I fly into Akwa Ibom these days, you see somebody bringing in a what? It looks like mosquito nets, and it says the nursery was imported from where? Look, my dear, have you seen those cows from Mexico? I haven't seen those cows, and I'm waiting to drink milk from Mexico cows or to eat the meat of Mexico, especially when we, you know, some of the things that are happening now. We need those cows because the Akwa Ibom money has already gone somewhere, and we don't know when this coffin is opened, we will know where those monies have already gone. They talk about cows, they talk about put mosquito nets around the airport so people can see that things are happening. It's like a painted sepulcher. When you open it, there are bones literally all over.
Okay, sir. Let me ask you, and Doctor Ndito plan. I'm talking from where my Ndito plan about my career in terms of job creation in Akwa Ibom State.
In a state with the highest or second to the highest unemployment, there's no question that some of the things that must happen includes developing the port system. We have to think about Akwa Ibom as a state that possibly can be the leading light in Nigeria for tourism that has capacity to employ. We have to have solid core industry. Of course, first of all, employment starts with the level of education and the quality of education of the people of the state. That is something that he will improve on. We're going to have real industries. For example, the MRO at the airport has been abandoned. The science park has been abandoned. The architect that started this particular political dispensation, architect Obong Atta, laid down a clear vision and a clear plan also. Most of that is not in play right now. Obong Semakere intends to reinvigorate the state along those lines, develop infrastructure. You know, we need to be thinking about shovel-ready projects that can happen so that many of our people can go into this world. When you want to develop a particular state, the Wellbone and Semakere plans, there will be construction that has the capacity of employing people. If we have those construction systems in place, employing Akwa Ibom people, and we have to mandate that those people, a great number of those people working in those projects are Akwa Ibom indigenous. That has the capacity of improving employability, getting more people to work and putting food on the tables of Akwa Ibom people. We also know that he plans to bring in real industries. And when money does not leave the state the way it has been leaving, this money will be put to good use, and industries will begin to come. What the government needs to do and will do under Simakere's administration is to create a very stable and inviting economic infrastructure in the state, so that, because when you give the Akwa Ibom people the initiative, some of the things that can be replicated also are the so-called market money, the trader money. When you put the money in the hands of the little guy, he spends, and that has the way of creating a multiplier effect. And jobs are created day by private citizens who will also employ others. All these are set out in his 5 pillars of development, which is now circulating. I strongly implore and enjoin Akwa Ibom people to read that and see what is in there. I can sing it from here until eternity. When you read it and you know and you satisfied, you will know that this man means well.
Hello, good evening. This is Godwin Elijah calling from Italy.
Okay, so I think you have a call now. Hello?
Hello, this is Godwin Elijah
Okay, calling from where?
calling from Italy.
Okay, Godwin Elijah calling from Italy. Please, do you have a
Yeah,
question?
yeah. Good evening, sir.
Good evening to you,
I don't know if you
Godwin.
can hear me.
Elijah, how are you?
Hello.
Yeah, Godwin, go ahead. We can hear you very well.
Okay, please. I want to ask I don't know his name, this thing. How long have you known Nsemaikele? Obon Nsemaikele, how long have you known? Have they met one-on-one? Have they talk? That is the first question. The second question I want to ask, how long have you gone to Akwa Ibom? Because this is the same people that they condemn. I'm not for PDP, I'm not for APC, whatsoever they call it. This is the same people they condemn, and this is the same people they are painting white to represent again. That is my question. How can we trust them? How do we trust our state? What really can they do? Not only in talking in by now, when the election time is over, everything has gone down. So we want to know what they want to do. They shouldn't talk about what people have done or what has passed. Let them tell us what to do, what they are going to do. Because now election is now, everybody is talking.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Elijah. And I think you exactly on point, and that's one of the points that I made earlier on here. If you were listening from the get-go, I think I did say, and it's worthy repeating now, that we need not dwell too much about the past. Yes, I do understand that when you forget your past, you're bound to repeat it. You forget history, you're bound to repeat it. But if I may just, I have known about Simake for a long time, even before he came into the politics when he was in real estate, having practiced a law in Nigeria with Dodoma and Co at that time, and then in other personal capacities because I also ended up working for Intervision Sports Entertainment as the executive director. I have known what he has done in the past, and I've known his community development. I've have closer friends who are closer to him than I am. I had been at that time. And I've also known him in the political circles, and I also spoke, and I wish I can find the link to that. When Obong Simakere initially came into politics, I believe he was the third in the dispensation after Atta when Akpabio was the first elected governor. And he wrote his manifesto at that time was stellar. I think he was just not favored by the so-called shifting sands of politics, the zoning system. But I recall putting something out in the newspapers, in the internet ether, about his plan, even as Akpabio was contesting on the second go-round, that something Akpabio should do is try and take a look at Obong Nsemakere's plan. I'm talking about, I think, closer to 16 or 12 years ago, when he wrote that plan. That plan is the kind of plan that can take Akwa Ibom from where it was at that time to a very high place. So this is somebody who has been thinking about the problems of Akwa Ibom for a long time. This is somebody who has articulated the issues of Akwa Ibom and has found solutions to them, market-based solutions to this problem in a way that can work. So I think he has never been the last person. You know, when they say the buck stops, the buck has never stopped at Obong Nsemakere's desk. Now, the many things that he has done when he has served the state, they're there for everybody to see. He was the managing director of Akipog at some point. Go and check his performance. Great performance, excellent performance, performance that has not been replicated even until now. Then his record also, the one current record, is the one at the NDDC as managing director. We have never seen this much goodness before. So, and it's very important for us to focus on the future. Before we focus on the future, we need to see somebody's track record. His track record tells me that this is the Messi of football. This is a guy who's going to deliver. This is a guy who's, this is the Zidane of football. If I may use the football analogy, these are performing people. These are the big players. These are the big time guys who will bring the dividends of democracy to Ete and Akwa Ibom. Somebody who will look not just to the elites who drive in those black jeeps and have the security and run things around the state and act in a way that's inimical to the progress of Akwa Ibom. This is somebody who looks at the little guy and plans for the little guy. That's the future that Akwa Ibom wants. That's the future that Obong Nsemakere's promises. That's the future that Obong Nsemakere's will deliver.
When you said it, you just mentioned something now about security and all that. But Obong Nsemakere's has security as well. Yes, a lot of
I'm not suggesting that I'm not suggesting that he doesn't. The federal government gives him that.
Yeah, it's so the same. The state government, federal government, and no more police as well. I sit down here. I listen to you.
What I'm speaking to the issue is that the dividends of democracy today in Akwa Ibom State. I'm talking about Akwa Ibom State. The dividends of democracy seems to circulate on top. It is top heavy. The people of who are at the top, the plan for the people at the top. The first thing that Udom did was come in as executive governor and build a house in his village. The next thing he's doing is trying to build a road to his village. Until Obong Atta left government, he didn't build a road to Ibesiko. It was a success, or he even did that. Those are small-minded thinking. The dividend of democracy, what I'm saying today is only focused on a select few, the people in government. If you're not in government, you don't get it. So Obong Nsemakere's is focused on changing that, on upturning that, and making the focus of government the little guy, the people in the village, building farm to market roads. Those ones don't need huge investment, so that people who farm can bring their goods to the market in a way that's unimpeded. People who do the craft back in Ikorogbene or in the hinterlands of Ikorogbene can quickly get it out to Ikorogbene within this day. What is the vision of this governor that doesn't see that Akwa Ibom is almost a city-state? There's a clear vision that you can make it clear that I'm going to put roads. Every part of Akwa Ibom that you will get to the capital within 40 minutes. And every nook and cranny of Akwa Ibom can get to the other within 1 hour, 1 hour, 20 minutes. A vision like that, and then you begin to think about how you're going to make that happen. That kind of thinking doesn't revolve around the leadership in the state today. That has got to end, and it will end in February of 2019.
You know, when people, if people of, I know people of Akwa Ibom State, they are sitting down, they are listening to you very carefully. Even they are listening to you as well, and then they will ask themselves why this man is speaking so much about this one particular man, good, singing praises to one particular man, and the other man is so much like hatred. Because it's like you don't see anything good that comes out from Odo Emmanuel, the current governor side at all. Now I want to ask you, Christian, is it because I know somebody told me something. They said because there's nothing they that they invite that they do some occasion, but His Excellency Governor Odo Emmanuel never attended any. Is is it all boiling down to this? Like maybe it doesn't show any sign or it doesn't care about people in diaspora. Then now when people in diaspora say, okay, this man, thank or you don't want to recognize us. Okay, that's it. You're not going to support it. Even if you've done good or not, you just want to out of the office. Is it all boiling down to that?
I don't know. You tell me. That's the kind of chicken little talk. I thought when I was invited this program, I was advised that there will be some discussion by or somebody to speak for the other side. I don't know.
Exactly.
I'm not even.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
I don't know why they chickened out. I don't know why they chickened out. And I can speak to that issue, and I think it speaks more about what their understanding and acceptance of or wanting to speak to Akwa Ibom people and wanting to outline their plans for Akwa Ibom people. Because when you don't have anything to say, as my mother used to say, shut up and keep quiet. That's what they're doing. They're shutting up and keeping quiet because they don't have anything good to tell to
So
the
that's
people of
that's why they
Akwa
don't.
Ibom
They are not
State.
coming out. That way.
Yeah, I think, in
But
my opinion, it's
no.
chicken leg. But let
Last
me just say to the issue, I don't know who invited Udom somewhere and it didn't show. Udom Emmanuel somewhere, Governor Udom Emmanuel, right? For that office that you do. But there's not a lot of good things that one can take out of this administration. When you read and see things like are happening now, when over 2 billion naira is going to legal fees and they don't have action, they don't have any plan to retrieve that money. And this is just a tip of the iceberg. Akwa Ibom people ought to be outraged, ought to be very upset and passionately wanting them to go home to Awa, where he's from, now, or maybe back to Lagos, where he came from. I recently heard him talk about second address. I don't know. I thought that was too childish to even speak about, but maybe he has a second address, and he needs to prepare that for himself early next year so that he can go back. What is so good about 1 more than 1 billion being flitted out of the state or being money laundered out of the state? What is so good about promising cows and not delivering? What is so good about building mosquito nets and talking about nursery? And if we talk about nursery, nursery just means nursery and the plants will grow. So where are these plants now growing after we've been bombarded with those mosquito nets around the airport? What about the MRO? Why hasn't that developed? Won't that put people to work? What about the deep sea port in Mbo? Why are our own people so marginalized by this administration? Why is Esreke, the breadbasket of Akwa Ibom State, without any meaningful road or any meaningful developmental stride in that state? The primordial position of a discredited practice I want to add of building roads. What's so good with the governor coming in, and the first developmental project for the state is his big living house, which basically copies Akpabio's house in now for himself. And when we asked the question, I said, oh, he came from a bank, so he could build it. I mean, I don't know whether he had the money to build. I doubt that he had the money. If he had the money, he could have built it before he became governor. So to tell me that as an excuse, I think the people of Akwa Ibom are sick and tired of that level of leadership where you begin to steal ideas, and even when you steal it, this governor is behaving like a Akpabio light. What I call a Akpabio light. He wants to be a Akpabio when he's not a Akpabio. He's not authentic. He wants to go with the same kind of swagger and same kind of oh yeah, talk from both sides of the mouth. That's Akwa Ibom people need an authentic governor who wants to be himself, governor who understands the problems of Akwa Ibom and articulates a plan to solve those problems. Nobody will be perfect in that job, no question. But I think the closest thing to perfection right now, and I'm Edna, let me tell you something. Election is a binary process. The two people opt for it. So I can't speak to other people, but I can speak to the two people that one of them will be governor come next year after the election, early next year. And the one person is a failure. The other person has shown remarkable success. That's the person we need to put in that seat early next year. And that person is the one, Obong Michael.
Okay. Do you want to tell us how many what Nsimakera has done in Akwa Ibom State since he became NMDC managing director? I'm just telling you that because there's question coming in, so I'm just gonna ask you those questions.
Well, I'm going to submit that question to NNDC. I haven't had an audit of the NNDC intervention because this agency is basically an intervention agency where things go bad, they intervene so that it doesn't get really, really bad. It's not an agency that should set up, I think, as far as I know, the enabling law that particular statutory scheme that said that agency in place. But what I know is that I have been to Akwa Ibom, and the other person asked how often, when last did I go to Akwa Ibom? That was about 2 months ago, and I'm in Akwa Ibom about 5-6 times a year. And just to know, without plugging in, I have a law practice in Akwa Ibom, an active and beautiful law practice out there. So I know what happens there. Before you drive across one street or you walk across this, you're seeing those billboards now, showing this project is, powered or managed or developed by NNDC. And I see that. Anybody who's going, it's visibly there. I didn't used to see that before, and it's not because he's contesting for election, but it's just that has happened long before he indicated interest in this. And frankly, because that was happening, that's when people said, look, if you can perform like this, okay, so people prevailed on him, said, if you can do this at this location, we need you in the Hilltop Mansion. And I'm happy that he answered yes. And I'm happy to work that he gets in.
What I ask is how many, you haven't named any, just say you saw them in the billboard.
Well, you were the one who mentioned, what I'm saying, I don't have an audit. I don't have an audit. I'm not here to speak on what NNDC has done. And if we want to set up another program, I will be able to get to NNDC and say, give me the breakdown of the activities that have happened. But I know that the village, road. I can mention some. Let me mention the ones that I know.
You seem to be dodging some question. I asked you the question regarding the award they gave him. You dodged that. You didn't want to answer.
Mama, I don't want to speculate about things that I don't. I don't want to speculate about things that I don't know. I do not want to speculate on things that I don't know. I will only speak to facts. I'm a lawyer, so I'm going to speak on facts.
You want him you trust him very well. He can work for Akwa Ibom.
Mhm.
He can transform Akwa Ibom state. And you don't, and you said you know him very well. He has done a lot, but you don't know all these little things. I'm asking you.
When you ask me what NNDC has done for Akwa Ibom,
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
and I do not,
You're telling me it's on the bill box. I mean,
no, I'm
I
not.
can't just get everything that is on
I
billboard and then I say, okay, I
I
want
think
names of those things.
well,
Give me
let's
the
just ask
figures.
ourselves what has Udom done for Akwa Ibom? I think that's the most important because Udom is the governor today. What has he done for Akwa Ibom?
If
And you
anybody
cannot
from the
name any.
government is here, I'll ask him or her the same question.
And I will be unable to say
Yeah.
stuff. If you're asking me what NNDC has done for Akwa Ibom, I'm willing to name some of the ones that I know. I know that NNDC has intervened in many, many roads in Uyo. I know that the road to halfway to my village, and it stopped halfway. The road to off the how do they call it? The Calabar Itu Road in Biatoitan was done by NNDC. I know that NNDC intervened even when the government could not into local government in Ikoro, and near the road that leads to Enenetai Road, and intervened in that when the ravine threatened to cut off Akwa Ibom State from Cross River State at Itu. I know that I was informed recently that NNDC intervened and built a lot of roads in the shelter Africa in Uyo, and there are many, many array of projects where if you walk into you now and drive the streets, you're going to see construction ongoing, which are putting the men and women of Akwa Ibom to work, powered by the NNDC. I don't see that from the government of Akwa Ibom. I don't see
Okay.
that.
I think we have a call on the line. Hello.
Yeah, hello. The Akwa Ibom program. How are you?
Oh, fine. What is your name, please? Where are you calling from?
Okay, my name is Andrew Rowland. I'm calling from the United States.
Okay, Andy Roland. All
Um,
right.
I was listening to you. I've been listening to the program, and I just want to ask the lawyer, the barrister in the studio on the program a little bit because I've heard him talking so good of Mr. Mike Kerry, and I want to ask him a little bit of a question. My brother, how are you?
I'm all right, sir. And how are you this evening?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. You can speak.
Okay. My brother, you've talked so well of a career and see my career, what he has done and all of that. I wouldn't say Udom has done so much or he's not done so much. From the scorecard, truly, you will understand a little bit where Udom is coming from. There were a lot of projects that were commissioned, money paid for by his predecessor, which is Governor Godwin Pavio, which actually those projects were not completed. And Udom came in to cushion on that project, which I don't know, for some reason we have not been told what happened for projects that were commissioned, but those projects were never commissioned. And he has come in with something very different, which is talking about industrialization of the state. So a departure from what Godwin was doing in trying to create jobs, even if in a very small scale. I want to ask a question. We would love to see Mike Kerry to be a governor, but I want to say how many Akwa Ibom people, apart from dashing of money, just drinking money, how many youths have benefited from Nsima Kerry tenure as NNDC chairman? And what has he done during his generation as any chairman to the majority to the youth, to the unemployed youth of Akwa Ibom State in relation to having the desire that when he is elected, he will do more. Thank you. I just want you to tell us what and how and what he has done. Thank you.
Thank you, Handy.
That's a very well thought out question, and I appreciate you asking that question. I think Obon Simakar is, first of all, let me just make a bit of a correction. I believe Obon Simakar is the managing director and CEO of that organization and not the chairman. The chairman is probably the senior advocate from the good state of Cross River, sister state. Obon Simakar has done a lot of good things for the for Akwa Ibom State and empowered a lot of youth. I can go around and mention many of the people that I know that now work in the NNDC that are from Akwa Ibom State. In terms of youth empowerment is a nebulous concept. And some of the stultification has been that when he laid out his plan and extended his hand of fellowship to the governor, the Canadian Emmanuel, the governor kind of slapped down his hand, and that hasn't worked so well for the Akwa Ibom people. What he has done effectively is, apart from the direct employment, is creating those putting when the contracting process even was reviewed at the NNDC, and that has now equalized the system so that the people of Akwa Ibom State can benefit more and the young people of Akwa Ibom State who have ideas can be empowered to make that happen. And the person who asked the question said something about inheriting projects that were commissioned at one point. He said were commissioned at some. It said were not commissioned. Whether or not those projects were commissioned or not commissioned is of no moment. I would want to know, and I would want the government to tell me how many people they have brought before the law courts to prosecute them for not performing on contract. How many contracts have they cancelled, and what processes have they put in place to recover the monies that were paid, if those monies were paid to those people and those people didn't perform? That is the kind of leadership that would be different when Obon Nsimakere puts an administration together. If, for example, good leadership tells me that when you come into a place and things are not done right, you create new systems that perform, systems that are credible, systems that are responsive, and systems that are transparent, and systems that have integrity. If we don't have anybody who has been paid and has not performed standing trial or in court indicted, then the people in government ought to shut up and don't talk about that, because that's a failure of leadership.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Wow. Well, the question I still ask now, you 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 have you have spoken well or not. They are listening to you. Now you did there, like you are in America. You say you go to Nigeria or Akwa Ibom every is it 4 or 5 times every year. I believe you know the situations there. If you go to the villages, you know what is going on there. Some villages there is no light. Some villages there is no water. And I know if I want to say you now, you say, oh, Akwa Ibom State government did not allowed NADCs to come in and then help out. So we want us to tell us what is just Ndito plan Abong Simakere when or if he becomes the governor of Akwa Ibom State for these common people.
You know, when your house is on fire, when people bring water, You don't ask who brought the water. You just take the water and pour on your house because you want to save your house. What about Zima will do? What about Zima will do is to make sure that we continue in the trajectory that we were going before. Massive infrastructural development, improve education, hold teachers accountable, reduce class sizes, feed the students, make sure discipline comes back into the system. Certainly, we need to use our money well. We don't need our monies going out into slush funds to fund certain preferred law firms. We do not need our money being laundered elsewhere. We need to use it within our states. The need is great. The resources are scarce. And when properly redeployed, the resources will make us live well. I talked about roads, creating farm to market roads, making sure that people who are in the land, people who don't have water, as if getting boreholes or transitioning the water board and making it more effective, starting out in your Eket, those are the key steps. Making sure people in this circuit can bring their resources out. Making sure that the oil and gas that comes out of the ground of those people are adequately compensated. Making sure that the government is accountable to the people and being transparent and telling us what money comes in, what money goes out, how does it go out, where does it go out, and having a strategic plan. I believe it would be helpful, and those are some of the things that I understand are being discussed. To have a strategic vision of the state, a quick strategic retreat that identifies the key needs of Akwa Ibom State and helping tackle that and tackling that, frankly, because when right now he cannot do those things. He is not the incumbent governor. That's something we must not fail to understand. He is not the incumbent governor. He has a plan. We just need the man who has the buck right now to leave that place to somebody else who knows what he needs to do for the state to do it. Can you imagine? Let me just speak to a particular issue. I don't know that Obon Simakere would have stood aside to see the church collapse, and he sets up his own commission to do, and the commission makes recommendation, and the governor walks away from his commission's recommendation. And it was the blood of Akwa Ibom people that spilled in that house. That's lack of accountability. That's the hallmark of this particular administration. That's the kind of preferential treatment that Obon Simakere does not tolerate. And I think our people are understandably upset. And things have got to change. Udom seems like it's in above his head. He's punching above his weight. He just does not know how to correct what needs to happen in this day. He wants to lash out against everybody else. He wants to make Obon Akpabio a demagogue, a demigod, by saying, oh, he's causing all the problems. Obon Akpabio is not the problem. Obon Akpabio is just one senator in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Akwa Ibom is on the ballot, but in a different jurisdiction in Ikoro Senatorial District. He's not the problem of the state. Udom Emmanuel is the governor. If he cannot handle it, and it has shown that he cannot handle it, he needs to go.
Now, you just mentioned about Senator Akwa Ibom. And let me start from Udo Edege first. I know this Udo Edege was against Sima Kere, you know, and Akwa Ibom the same thing, I know. These are the caucus that were against him. And these are the same caucus who are embracing him now. Akwa Ibom say he's the best. Udo Edege is I remember I watched a video when Udo Edege climate terrible, and I get that double, and see my kid as a one go. Until don't got you will get back to the governor. I can never be a governor. He says so many things. I had so many videos which you're finding it difficult to upload it. I think by next time I'm gonna have anybody coming from your side, that video should be ready so that like now when I'm talking and they will playing it, they will be you will be listening. That person, everybody will be listening to it and then see what I'm talking about. Now even if we said let's say okay, Nsima Ikeda have a good intention, just like what they said Udom was. They said Akpabio said he brought Udom. He brought him up, but he disappointed him. Now he is now in the side of Nsima Ikeda. So do you think that Nsima Ikeda will be able? I didn't say you get down this all these promises and you know he will be able to do it because still having these caucus around him, the same caucus that criticized him years ago.
Well, when you sit on the governor's chair, the buck stops with you and you drive the vision, you drive the agenda. You can have many advisors. If you have your head screwed up straight and you came in with vision, people will advise left, right, center, because it's politics, their interests. People have their own interests. So the person at the top, the governor, has to decide what is good and what he believes his vision, translate that vision into reality for the people of Akwa Ibom State. Some of the things that you're talking about, the videos, I've heard some of that. Look, when it's politics season, it's silly season, it's like duck hunting. People go out and say all sort of things. Maybe they mean those things, or maybe they don't. It's just about tarnishing. But I think the good book says no weapon formed against it. When you have light, you cannot cover it. And Obong Semakere is like light. No matter how much you try to cover it, it will shine. So those are periods that people have tried to egg him down somewhat, to undercut him and but you see, I'm not going to speak to you, not because I think it's not a right. It's like comparing apples and oranges. Obong Nsima Ikere has a clear track record. That's the point I keep emphasizing. He has a clear track record from school, actually, from when he was a student. And his contemporaries say that we all know it. From when he did one of the few people, this is a man who has worked for himself before. So he understands, it's a mindset of a businessman. He understands how to make it rain. And when you work for yourself, you understand that you have to bring in the bacon and get your people to work and develop that vision and sell it and get your marketplace. Udom never had that. Udom, look, to be an executive, I hear he was an executive director in a privately owned bank. It's not even a publicly traded bank. My sense is that at best, if he was working in a publicly traded bank, he would have been a manager to the highest level. Executive director in Jim Obia's bank, I understand that's his antecedent. Jim, if you get there only because you can say yes to Jim Obia. If you contravene or contradict Jim Obia, you're going to be out the next day. So, we know he was executive director, but we never knew what he did as executive director, and we still don't know. So, but we have had occasion to see him in 3 years and a half. And what we've seen is not anything to write home about. When you contradict that, or put that side by side with what Obong Nsima Ikere has done over his lifetime, NNDC managing director, Akwa Ibom managing director, all performance places, his own place. I think Akwa Ibom people have experimented for 3.5 years, and we don't like this experiment. Never again should we have a person as the chief executive of our state who has not signed anybody's paycheck before he came there. When you've worked for yourself, you've created this thing, you've signed people's paycheck, you understand how difficult it is and what it takes to make sure that at the end of the month, there's money to pay your staff, there's money to do the things that the office does. Udom never did that. So when one wants to compare Udom and Obong Simakere, I think that's a charade. That's comparing apples and oranges. This man didn't come with a vision. But may I, Edna, just add a little more? But apart from that, I keep asking, maybe you know, tell me, what did Deacon Odo Emmanuel do for his community before he became governor? Was he a member of any social organization that performed in a creditable way, that he showed that he loved his people? Obong Simakere has always been there. He's been in the trenches with the people, with the little guys, with the big guys, with the not so big people, and he's a man of the people. I can speak to I said again, Obon Kwabio said he made a mistake. He has apologized to Akwa Ibom, and I take him at his word, and I think he means it.
And you are telling me that he's not going to say the same thing with Simakere?
He's not the one who.
He was
No, 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 no,
the
no.
governor. And he
Don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted, Edna. Don't get it twisted. Obong Simakere was almost
I'm just
before
asking.
Obong Akpabio came back to APC, before he moved to APC, because he had said he did not decamp, before he moved, because he saw the vision of Nigeria, and as he said, that people were trying to make Nigeria ungovernable and do also. Before he came here, Obong Simakere was flying high already, was doing the thing that he needed to do. He's not anointing Obong Simakere. He's coming to support Obong Simakere. He's coming to tell Akwa Ibom people, I'm sorry, I made a mistake before. I now realize my words. Even Paul saw on the way to wherever he was going in the Bible, when he saw the light, he came along. He preached the gospel from there on. He was a tax collector.
Telling the Akwa Ibom people to trust these people. Somebody that said something with this person, he claimed he brought this person, and then he left. And when I start behind that tongue of Iyoiko or all these, that middle, sorry,
Well,
and they go into another place, and they say, oh, this one
well, I'm
is the
not
best,
standing.
and then you want us to trust the same person that is not going to use the
I'm,
same influence on the same person, and your support can now. And boy, at the medieval, you see, this one, I'm sorry, I'm moving to another, another way.
Again, Sister Edna, I'm not going to speak for Obama Okwabio. And I'm telling you, but I'm
If you're
telling you
not going
what
to
I'm
answer
telling you.
any question, you
What? No, no, I'm telling the Akwa Ibom people that they need to, it's like when you want to buy a used car, you have to kick the car, kick the tire, see if the doors fall apart. Kick this man's tire, and you will find that the car is solid. It's not even a used car, it's a new car. How do you know? How do you know somebody's future? You look at his past. When you look at his past, you will be satisfied. I'm not telling you to hang. If you want to be led by, if you want an endorsement doesn't do much. Endorsement by somebody else, Obama Fabio could do what he did for Udom because he was the incumbent at that time. He's now only one senator. There are a lot of support. Have you ever seen a party being this united going into an election? That should tell you that people see something in this man. They see something in Obong Simakere, and it's not hard to see why people are supporting him. These are not people the people are coming forward. Even the people who said something bad about him are seeing that what they said, they're knowing that what they said was wrong, and they've changed their ways. So quite many people shouldn't be relying on their words, should be relying on what this man has done, the performances he has made, and the things that he has told them he will deliver. And he will be the governor.
okay?
I have never seen a senator control the governor. It's the other way around.
So what are you telling the people of Akwa Ibom State now?
That help is on the way.
The help is on the
That they
way.
should hang on tight for a few more months. Help is on the way.
From where?
Obong Simakere.
Okay. I'm so happy to have you today on the program. How I wish the opponent or the opposition or the government official was here, because there are so many questions I would have asked him or her as well, and then that would be Akwa Ndito Akwa Ibom today. But unfortunately, network didn't allow them to come. You know, Nigerian network will always pray for them anyway. And I want to use this opportunity to say thank you so much for being in the program today, and I appreciate you coming, even with your tight schedule. You secret time to come. Thank you so much. I hope you come again next time.
Well, thank you very much, and I'm always happy to speak to you, Edna. You've been wonderful, and I thank the people of Akwa Ibom State who've called in and the others listening. Thank you very much, and you all have a good evening.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
All right.
Well, that was Mr. Hope Umana. He based in the U.S. He was talking to the people of Akwa Ibom State, what they should know, what they have to do. Well, most of you, so I leave you to judge, not me. Let's go on musical break when we come back.
In the building, yes, I'm president on this one. Oh yeah, my capital. Come on, praise my sin, everybody. Oh yeah, now. Okay. Jesus, you never failed before. Jesus, you never change your. Papa, you take away. You don't bless me, yafu yafu. Everybody lift him up, say. Jesus, you never failed before. I will lift my voice to say, you take and well, lift your voice, say, yeah. Jesus, you never fail before. Hallelujah. Jesus, you never change. Everybody lift him up, say, listen, praise. You don't bless me. You turn my labor to favor. Turn my morning to dance. You are the reason why we sing. Your loving kindness is forever. Jesus, you never fail before. Everybody lift your voice. Jesus, you never change. That's Papa, you make one pay. Lion of Judah, you don't bless me. My El Shaddai, my sustainer, my all in all. Don't wanna mess away when there seems to be no way. That's why we're so glad to say you're faithful. You turn my labor to favor. You turn my morning to dance. You are the reason why we sing. Your loving kindness is forever. Ọba mi tó gbé mi lékè. Atani wáyé, ẹ̀yin lẹ gbé mi ró. Mighty man of war. Ajagun ṣẹ́gun, ìgbẹ́jà èmi Michael. Junior brother Jésù. Ojogun. Jesus, you never fail before. Abọ́lúwa ṣòwò kí padà. Jesus, you never change. You never change at all. You never change. You don't chase it. You lay come go. The Lion of Judah. Mama, you bless me. Jesus, you never fail. When it lifts you up, no one can bring you down. Oh, Jesus, you bless me, I'm Jesus, is the above way. That's all. Is the above way? If you guru give me, that's all.
just never felt before. Thank you so much for joining me back. And then thank you so much, Ndito Akwa Ibom. My Pamoto in Akwa Ibom, in a girl on Kibim Bakara. I only time going in onion. In a makeup. Denmark tang bouquet for Mango and a Pamoto. So, I for no bureau. You pay him for the judge, pay him. So, I ought to put here and Garrick Bay. But what I always want to tell Ndito Akwa Ibom is that make sure you vote the person that you believe, that you trust, and you know that he will take you to the next level. Do not sell your conscience. Do not sell your future. Do not sell your children's or grandchildren's future. Because what your decision you make today determines what will happen tomorrow. Because nobody will come and build a Akwa Ibom state for us. You know be building upon you know be nan. You know be bob. You know be scatter. Mbarawa. Don't allow anybody to buy your conscience. Don't say because because of you are this one, you like this one, you don't like this one. Let us face the reality of things. Most of you what is going on. So you back the best position of the judge. Even some of us, in fact, I'm current what is going on in Akwa Ibom State. But the only thing I want to say is that Akwa Ibom State will not be built by any other person than you and me. No matter where you are, no matter whatever, no matter where you are, whatever names you bear, whoever you support, but just make sure you do the right thing. Just do the right thing. Next Sunday is going to be another 80 Usain. I'm trying to make sure that I came to one to take off. Before I don't written mean taxable for Timis and make on Bakara. No, I'm going to have 2 people here on the studio. But I don't know, last Sunday we were supposed to be 2. 1, say because of network, couldn't come. Today we had 1 because of network. The other side couldn't come as well. So next Sunday, finger crossed, 2 of them will come back here so that they would answer their question. Because like now today, when Hope was talking, if the other person was there, Akwa, no, this is it. Or Akwa, no, say for Tangarun, so this is how it is. But you just left the open floor. That's what happened last time. But I know it's not going to happen again. I will try as much as possible to make sure that they come on the program so that they can come and talk to us, talk to you, talk to me. Because we really need to know what is going on so that we need not mistake, we need regret in another 4 years or another 8 years. So decision is in our hand. So I want to use this opportunity to say a big thank you to all of you joining me today. And our YouTube, you can subscribe. Our YouTube subscribe so that you might be on. So you can just notification add if you're on your phone. You don't even have to say, oh, if the program or the program is if you are not on Facebook, but if you're on Facebook, follow us on our Facebook. Invite your friends. Invite. If this is not only anybody comfortable near relation and near contact, you are a bear more other choir or maybe you do or you do we all want. So invite your friend next Sunday that they should come on the program. We should wait that there's something as already, just like it's always been. I want to say thank you so much for joining me today on the program, because the program is going to come to an end. I want to say thank you again and God bless. I will sign off with the song and God bless.
Yeah, progress on the MIC. Do it.
Abasibom Akwa Ibom. Yakibo kono forever. Yakirong nyina ba kememo. Afrewe ni seria. Me yamuru aya me kururo. Eterio ubodum, you know. Remember, Carino, Joy Canino, Ipo won't go and Baba God, now you be the boss, yeah. I throw a salute to. Thank you for the beautiful things where you do for us. Here in Akwa Ibom, my town for a new faith, on a unit that is net a mara. It do be near Makara, the Lord is good, very, very handsome. For my phone of Rewo. MMU for your, you know, I can nang bonga na banyen to woman a fanyin neta mam kasa. Etena murago, I come yes or etena murago. Let peace and unity, prosperity be in Akwa Ibom. Abasibom yo Akwa Ibom. Yakpo for of Rewo. Yangirong you never came mo. Yafre when you said ya. Meyamuraya make a rudo. Eterio ubodum, you know. Remember, Carino, Doganino, Ipo won't go and Parawa by San Gamero. Jason Gamero. Afrewa San Gamero. Yagitop Gamero. Yakpo for Frewo. Yagiro back Gamero. Remember, Carino. That's just you know, Ipo won't go and Parawa. As we wake up every morning, step out of our houses for the journey. Better go they follow us. Them wuru people no go see us. Lie. We go count our blessings one by one. We go sing a song, yeah, 2 by 2. We go make a dance, yeah, 3 by 3, 4 by 4, 5 by 5, 6 by 6. If the Lord be for us, tell me who can be against us, yeah. This is the promised land. No weapon formed against us shall prosper. Every tongue will rise against us, we condemn. Akwa Ibom is song a man, you know. Akwa Ibom is song a man, you know. Basibom yo Akwa Ibom. Yakpo for the Frewo. Yakirong you never came mo. Yafre when you said ya. I am Uru, I am a Kururo. Eterio